program, Department of Health is ready to present. They're ready, it's just that the holdup is the OMB report. And I believe that's the email that Honorable Dr. Andy Nez received or is referring to. I know the program is ready. It's just that we don't have an answer from OMB.
Mr. Chair, I haven't received anything from, a response from OMB to my email. But I do receive notifications that staff members from OMB have read my email.
Who else can we contact at OMB? Do we have anybody on the online from OPVP? So with that, I just want to also see if we can, do we have anybody on the call from DOTI, Department of Dinet Education? Yeah.
Doty, Edgewater, Derek Franklin, Dr. Clark are all out at Sleepy School. So they're addressing that, taking care of that now. So they likely didn't read my email to come over. Their line is being transferred to an automated, I guess, answering switchboard. If you know the extension, please enter it now. That's it. That's all the response I get when I call OMB office.
$65.75. The extension is just going. Halit adolich lakot. OMB is not responding to us, and we know the program's ready, but based off our policy, we can't move to the program to start presenting. Or at Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Joe, so, we, we just got wording that, OMB staff is on their way. I don't know about our department or prisoners, if they're on their way. Oh, we do have Michelle Morse on the call. So with that, we'll just continue to and wait and see if OMB shows up. In the meantime, and the program, we need to have the program here as well. So at this time, I will recess until we get a quorum back. Until we have a quorum, we'll just recess until we will get a quorum back on the floor. Recess here at 9:34 until we get a quorum back here on the floor. All right, we do have quorum back on the floor. So with that, we'll go ahead and come back out of recess. Thank you. Committee members, we do have OMB staff that is here. So right now, we are just waiting for Department of Health to join us for the presentation. I can still move forward and read it into the record, right?
Say that, I'm sorry, Chair, say that
We
again.
can still move forward and read it into the record, right?
The legislation without NDOH?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, committee members, we can still move forward with the legislation being read into the record. In the meantime, we'll wait for Navajo Nation Department of Health to arrive at the same time. Once the legislation is completed, all read into the record, I will ask for a motion in a second. And from there, we will proceed to OMB to provide their report. We do have OMB Division of Health's report. You all got a copy, right, committee members? This new one? Yeah. So we can start going over that as well. So with that, Ms. Benali? You want to use this? So with that, we'll have legislation number 0180-23 read into the record. I believe as committee members, we also do have a hard copy before us. So if you don't have a copy, please let us know so we can get a hard copy of legislation number 0180-23 to you as well. So with that, everything is, the
Do a roll call.
machines are recording and everything is on. So with that, before we move forward to reading the legislation number 0180-23, since we're back in quorum status and I called for a recess until we get quorum back, we'll go ahead and move on to roll call vote. Ms. Benali?
Yes, Mr. Chair and members of the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee. This is a roll call vote for August 11th, 2023 for the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee's budget special meeting. Delegate Helena Nez-Begay. Thank you. Delegate Vince James.
Delegate James present.
Thank you. Delegate Dr. Andy Nez. Thank you. And Delegate Jermaine Simonson. Delegate George Toth. Thank you. And Delegate Curtis Unito. Mr. Chair, you have 4 members answering roll call. That constitutes a quorum, and 2 members didn't answer roll call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Benali. With that, we do come back out of recess due to loss of quorum at 9:47 a.m. So with that, we will move forward to reading legislation number 0180-23 into record. Ms. Benali?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee. You're at your legislation number F, legislation number 0180-23. You have your proposed standing committee resolution, 25th Navajo Nation Council, first year 2023, introduced by Delegate Vince R. James and co-sponsored by Delegate Dr. Andy Nez. Tracking number is 0180-23. In action relating to the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2024 budget for the Navajo Nation Department of Health and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's FY 2024 comprehensive budget. The legislation has been read into record electronically, and The Health, Education, and Human Services Committee has the final authority for this legislation. The legislation does have Exhibit Exhibit A attached. It's the fund type budget summary, and it lists all of the business unit numbers, program titles, and general fund amounts, proposed general funds. And the FY 2023 general fund budget is $14,888,576. Proposed general fund budget is $13,324,650, and the indirect cost fund is $161,596. The grand total amount is $13,486,246. And you have your Exhibit B is the general fund comparative summary. You have your business unit numbers, the program title, and the general fund budget. General fund budget is in the amount of $13,324,650. Exhibit C is the recommended changes to the general fund budget, and none are indicated. Exhibit D is the recommended conditions of appropriations or legislative concerns, and there are none indicated. Exhibit D is the recommended conditions of appropriation and the legislative concerns. Oh, there's two. Okay, there's a business unit number 113018, and the program title is OPHC, FAC Development Botaway Gap, but there's no condition of appropriation or legislative concern that is listed, but there are two Exhibit D forms attached. Exhibit E is the recommended unmet needs budget, and there are 4 listed programs: Daltex Administration, Daltex Fort Defiance, Daltex Shiprock, and the Navajo Special Diabetes Project. And in all, the total of unmet needs that is being requested among all 4 programs is $8,550,504, and that's Exhibit E. Thereafter, you attach is the transmittal letter from the Office of Legislative Counsel, and following that is the public comment period posted information. That was August 2nd, 2023, and it completed the 5-day comment period on August 7, 2023, and no comments were received. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Benali, our legislative advisor, for reading that into the record. Committee members, do we have a motion? Motion made by Honorable George Toth. Do I have a second? Committee members, second made by Honorable Helena Nez-Begay. So with that, we will move forward to OMB to provide us the information of the Vision of Health report. And we do have the hard copies here before us. And thank you for providing this information, copies. So with that, OMB, I will go ahead and give you the floor.
Okay. Good morning, Chairperson and board of members of the board and everyone that's here. I'll go ahead and read the. My name is Eileen Naz, Senior Budget Analyst of Office of Management Budget. I will read the summary of Division of Health. The second page, it has a table of content. The Tab A has FY24 Fund Type Budget Summary. Tab B has FY 2023 third quarter expenditure report. Tab C has FY 23 third quarter performance assessment report. Tab D, FY 23 third quarter plans of operation status report. Tab E, FY 23 conditions of appropriation legislative concern report. Tab F, FY 23 external funds expenditure report. Tab G, FY 2021 single audit report. So under tab A, it gives you a summary of the business unit, program names, and the budget allocation from FY '23. And then the proposed budget for FY '24, it's 13,324,651. Indirect cost is 161,596. So the grand total is 13,486. $13,486,247. Tab B will cover the third quarter budget status report, and it's dated 8/7/23. This information will, the highlighted area will tell you the expenses of the account that's listed under the general fund. The first one, for example, is 11/30/01. It covers the original budget, revised budget amounts, encumbered, and budget available, the number, percentage that's spent. So the attachment has all the account expenditure balances. And then tab C will be covered by my colleague here.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Ancita Largo. I'm the Senior Management Analyst for MPS section. The C is the FY '23 third quarter performance assessment report for Department of Health. They have 11 programs, and the scoring is 5 is outstanding, 4 is exceed expectation, 3 is meet, 2 is needs improvement, 1 is unsatisfactory, 0 is if they don't submit any reports to our office. The average for DOH is 2.2 for third quarter. Going on to D is the third quarter plans of operation status report. Department of Health have all their plan of operation up to date. E is the condition of appropriation and legislative concern report. They have 4 legislative concern for third quarter response. The department did not respond to any of the legislative concerns, so they're all in non-compliance. F will go back to Eileen.
Okay, tab F will cover the FY '23 external funds expenditure report. This one will cover the, it has index from A to N. The index A is the number, the index B is the company number assigned, and then the index C is the contract ID grant number assigned by the funding agency, and tab D is the start date, beginning of the budget period, and tab E is the end date of the budget period on the grant award, and then tab F is the business unit FMIS number assigned to budget on grant award. Tab G is the description title of grant award. Tab index H is original budget initial grant award. Index I is the revised budget year-to-date award original and modification. And then tab J is the expenditure actual amounts post as of report date. And then tab index K is the open commitment obligation encumbered as of report date. And then tab L is available balance budget remaining for the contract period. And then tab M is the percentage spent. And then tab N is the percentage balance, the remaining of the contract. Let's see. And then the last one is the The tab G will cover the FY21 single audit report, and it lists about 11 of them for your review. That completes our summary report.
Thank you for, thank you for the report. OMB, thank you very much for that and for providing us all of this information pertaining to Division of Health. So with that, committee members, are there any questions to OMB in regards to the report that has been provided to us? Honorable George Toth.
Thank you, Chair and members of Hehsc Committee. Good morning to all of you staff. I have a question, but I wish the director is here so we can have them respond back. And I have a question for the OMB in regards to performance and audit question. I wish that the director would be here so and we had how many days? They given almost 2 days to prepare this budget. We shouldn't be waiting. And I know they have a lot of responsibility, but I'm kind of disappointed that they're not ready, and they should have been here this morning, ready to go. So how can they respond if I ask these questions? I think they need to be here. And so probably wait until when they come in. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Andinez.
Yeah, and to the OMB staff, thank you for the report that you guys have presented here. I do have 2 questions. The first one is, when you look at the FY 2023 Legislative Concern Summary, Department of Health, there's a non-compliance from the first quarter, so essentially this is last year. And what are, if any, the consequences when divisions or programs are unable to fulfill this? Does that have any budgetary or fiduciary consequences? The second question that I have is, I know that with the Department of Health, there are contracts that are not in line with the Navajo Nation's fiscal year. So can you just briefly educate me a little more on how OMB works when it comes to contracts and working with the Navajo Nation's fiscal year? Because I know there are times many of our senior centers are delayed some funding due to those differences. Thank you, Chair Shijai.
Thank you very much. With that, committee members, are there any other questions? With that, I will go ahead and give the floor back over to OMB to respond to Honorable Dr. Andinez.
Thank you, Dr. Nance. To your questions on the legislative concern summary, if you look at the report, there's a due date. If you look at the top cell, there's a due date, and they have third quarter, second quarter, and first quarter. Then if you go back on top, there's a third quarter response. So every quarter, at the end of each quarter, we have them submit their response. And that's where they didn't, for the third quarter response, although like for the top section, the LC number 1 for the administration, they didn't respond for third quarter. The third quarter, the LC was due on third quarter, but they didn't respond for the third quarter. So if you go down to the fourth one, for also the administration, the due date for this LC was first quarter. And by third quarter came around, there was no response again. And then for the contracts, we only work with the general funds. We don't work with the contracts. Cordell Shorty is the one that, his section, contracts and grants, are the ones that take care of any contracts, any K or any other external. They work with the contracts and grants within Office of Management and Budget.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, OMB. With that, follow-up question, Honorable Dr. Andinez.
Thank you, Shijai Chair, Auto OMB for the response. And that reminder, that is correct with Mr. Shorty and the contracts team. But the question regarding the concern summary document, it's pretty clear, but my question was that since the Department of Health was not able to address the concerns by their due date, so for example, on number 4, first quarter it was due, and it's been 8 months since the end of first quarter, then there's still no response and it's non-compliance. That I understand, but my question is the consequence. What happens, if any, in terms of the fiduciary responsibility or as far as budgets? Do any of our programs or divisions get penalized when they're not responding based on the concern summary sheet that you've presented here? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Andinez. With that response, OMB.
Thank you, Dr. Nance. We don't have, Office of Management and Budget, according to our plan of operation, we don't have the authority to do any, maybe put them on sanction or what have you. We don't do that. We don't have the authority. So it goes back to the oversight. And each quarter, when we release these reports, there's the plan of operation, there's the condition of appropriation, legislative concern, and then also the program assessment scoring report. They all go out to each chief branch. Then from there, we're assuming that it's branched out to the programs and the staff that are the managers. So, but it goes back to the oversight committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Andinez. Oh, okay, you're good. All right then, thank you. So we don't have our legal counsel here with us, but where is she? Oh, she's over there. How do we move forward with a question that was brought up regarding, or a response that was brought back up regarding sanction of Department of Health or Division of Health on administration or so forth down the program lines? If we could get a response from our legal counsel.
Chair, members of the committee, is this for a condition of appropriation, or is this for legislative concern?
Honorable Dr. Andinez.
Legislative concern.
Chair, members of the committee, as far as legislative concerns, the best thing to do at this point, I would recommend scheduling Department of Health for a follow-up meeting or for a follow-up report rather, to discuss the status of where they are. The other option, you can also do another legislative concern for the item and schedule monthly reports with the Department of Health, or you could make this a condition of appropriation for the FY 2024 comprehensive budget. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much for that information to our legal counsel. So with that, I believe we do have a response to Honorable Dr. Andy Ness this question, and then this will be all up to you as a committee of the Health, Education, Human Service Committee on how you want to proceed. So you guys have that option to make that motion. You have that option to vote on that and moving forward with Division of Health. So just work with our legal counsel if you would like to proceed and do an amendment to legislation number 0180-23. That way it moves forward with it also to Budget and Finance and and down the line through the whole process. So with that, I will go back to Honorable George Toth. He did have a question earlier, but could not ask the questions due to the fact that Division Director or staff or presenters from Division of Health was not present. So with that, I appreciate the staff of Division of Health for being here. And also, we have not received the budget information, the packet or the binders that you would have. If you can disseminate those hard copies out to us, that would be very helpful as well. But in the meantime, we are on the fiscal year 2024 budget hearing, Division of Health, Now Foundation OMB report. That is what we are on, and we have the packet. Do you guys have your packet too? So that's what we are on under. We just got done discussing the fiscal year 2023 legislative concern summary, Department of Health. So with that, we will go back to the OMB report again and give some time to Honorable George Toth to ask his questions and then also hear his comments as well. With that, Chitnaash.
Thank you, Chair, members, and also the staff and the presenter, Director Dole. Thank you for coming in. That's the same concern I had when my daddy asked those question concerns. This is serious matters, and we don't want to sanction our senior center, but I think the department's responsibility, because I'm worried about our senior center, but I think it has to be answered from the top. Why all these matters are not, issues are not being resolved. I know we have two directors came in, one left, and then we have another new one. So I think a proper way of doing this is do condition of concerns, or then I would be able to also, I guess my daddy's already have that ready to go to do a monthly report to the board, to the health, to see how far they at. So I would, this is a serious matter because I know our new director's not really responsible because she just came in. So we have acting also in that position. So, and I don't know how the appointment was made by our executive branch. There's a lot of turnover, there's a lot of vacancy. We've been barking about it, and it seems that the program hasn't get off the ground yet. And it's still the same when I, back in 1995 all the way up to today, it's still in the limbo. So it's a serious matter. I hope your new director can realize that and work on it. And that's the only way we can do, or else we can do condition appropriation, but which is gonna hurt the program. And we just wanted to have this iron out and come out with a solution why this is not happening. So I think this body has that responsibility to sanction or to do the condition of appropriation and إيقظت إن خاص لأكو إلي يا كروبات استشين أخور جرجين we can make that motion, but since you're here, we like to have them, the books up here also, the binder. We don't have it. Idia korobea desti. So, yo now to echo. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of position open, so that can be discussed when the department reads the budget into the record. This is the question to OMB, so thanks for providing that. I think this body, like I said, it's our responsibility to go which way. So, so OMB, thank you. I know you do a lot of work during the budget, so one of the recommendations I had when I came in was, why can we do 2 years? And then nobody wants that, so that. So, Chair, thank you. Thank you.
I had Honorable George Toth, thank you. With that, to question to the Division Director, do you have the binders, the hard copy binders?
Hello? Sorry. Yat Bene, Honorable Delegate Vince James, Chair James, honorable members of the committee. My name is Kim Russell. I'm the director for the Navajo Department of Health. I'm happy to be here again to respond to questions. I apologize for being a little bit late. We were hoping to bring our packets over. We still hadn't had an okay from OMB to print them as of this morning. I understand OMB is really, really busy. So we reached out to them early this morning and they finally gave us the okay with I think minimal edits to them, and we made that edit already. So that's why we don't have packets available for you now. We have over, in addition to our general funds, we have over 240K accounts. So that kind of accounts for the printing time, but they are being printed and they should be over really, really soon. So again, I apologize for our report not being here, but they should be coming soon. And if there's any response I can give in regards to legislative concerns, I'd be happy to do that. But please know that the budgets are coming. I'm happy to serve in this new role as the Department of Health Executive Director. I'm going to be ending my 6th week today, and just still in the process of learning all the different programs, and I understand the need to really improve upon our aging and long-term care support program. And that concludes my opening comments, for, at least in regards to this particular question, Chair James.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Kim Russell, for being here. How much time do you need? How much time is needed again? An hour?
No. Okay. So Honorable Chair James, I think we can get at least 5 to the members here in the next couple of minutes. And my staff is consulting over here. But I did ask them to at least bring copies for the members and for the chair as soon as they can. And again, members, I apologize for the lateness of our budget packet. We do have over 240K accounts, which is making it a little bit timely for us to get those printed for you all.
Okay, what else? Ms. Russell, I know you do have the 5 copies, but I know we need about 12 copies. OMB staff plus ourselves, we need those copies. So what I'll do is I will recess for an hour. I'll give you some time for an hour to recess. In the meantime, I would ask that everyone else leave the council chambers so we can have a discussion with Department of the Net Education within that hour. They are here as well, so We'll just have staff here and then the committee members and our legal counsel present here. But we'll give you an hour and we can reconvene at 11:20. I think by that time you guys will have the binders ready. So with that, I'll go ahead and release you guys for an hour and we'll see you back at 11:20. Mr. Russell? Oh, we'll do that then. Okay, so with that, we'll recess. We're going into recess here for an hour, and we can reconvene back to our special budget hearing meeting in an hour. Dodie, maybe you guys can come up here, and then committee members, if you can come up here too, and let's discuss how we're going to move forward, and Dodie will provide us in regards to these binders, because we were told that they were confidential. Just pull up a chair. If you guys can give us a rundown on the binders and what you guys want us to do with the binders. Just pull up a chair and then we'll figure all of this out. Oh, yeah, Yade, Nana. Yade, to see you guys again. No, I don't know where Dr. Nance went. Yade, hope. Just pull up a chair, grab any chair, and figure this out. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Remember we had a late night meeting, and there was just kind of Derek, myself, and Mr. So, and you guys were asking us how come these schools were, why the reapportionment. Why the reapportionment?
Okay, just go ahead.
Why the reapportionment was ever became of Nahabon. And so we've told you about the history of a bunch of schools and their issues and why the 24th Hehsc Committee had came up with this reapportionment. So then with you guys, at that time you requested to have all the information regarding that. And we said the financial records, all those records, and you guys said yes. And I remember Mr. Franklin said there's a lot of binders and a lot of information. And we asked you, and you guys said yes, we want copies of all of it. And we were like, all of it? And we said all of it. So these are the copies of all of it. And then the other day we received from Kristen last week a request for some additional more documents. So that we provided, Mr. Tracy provided a 91-page email chain. Go ahead. Good thing I didn't mention any names. Yeah.
So this is the perfect example I'm going to use.
That's the one up there. So I shut that down. That's closed.
Good thing you weren't on mute, or were we on mute? Okay.
Florida School Board had all the credit cards. Name. So
Good afternoon. Yat e nana, thank you. We will go ahead and proceed. We do have a quorum here on the floor now. So with that, we'll go ahead and move forward. As we did say, we would recess up until 11:20. I do apologize for going over the 11:20. We were waiting on several different things to arrive, and the binders have arrived from Navajo Department of Health. And at the same time, we also went over our 11:20 time with our meeting with Department of the Net Education. So with that, everything has worked out, so we'll go ahead and move forward, and I'll go straight to a roll call vote, and then we'll call for a motion and second to get out of recess. So with that, roll call vote, Ms. Benali?
Yes, Mr. Chair and members of the Health Education and Services Committee, give a roll call vote. Delegate Helena Nesbitt. Thank you. Delegate Vince R. James.
Delegate James, present.
Thank you. Delegate Dr. Andy Nez. Thank you. Delegate Doreen Simonson. Delegate George Toe. Delegate Curtis Emito. Mr. Chair, you have 4 members answering roll call. You have a quorum, and 2 members are absent.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Benali, for the roll call vote. So with that, we do have a quorum. I just need a motion to exit out of the recess that we did. Motion made by Honorable Dr. Nez, second by Honorable George Toth. Are there any questions? Committee members to exit out from recess. If there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and call for a roll call vote to exit out of recess at 12:10 p.m. Honorable George Toth? Green. Honorable Helena Nez Begay? Honorable Dr. Nez? With that, we do have 3 in favor, chair not voting, 1 excused, which is Honorable Vice Chair Jermaine Simonson, and 1 unexcused, which is Honorable Curtis Unito. So with that, committee members, we are back on to the legislation number 0180-23, and that is the Navajo Nation Department of Health fiscal year 2024 budget. We did receive the hard copy binders before us, and it has been disseminated, and I believe OMB has received a copy as well. Our staff has received a copy as well. We were at the part of OMB reviewing and reading their report, and there was questions in regards to moving forward with how we would address the legislative concern. That legislative concern, legal counsel and committee member discussed the language, and eventually that will be forthcoming later on for amendments to be made. And so it brought us back to another legislative concern of certain issues and concerns regarding the OMB report, and we could not move forward due to the fact that one of our colleagues indicated that it was difficult to move forward to ask questions if we don't have the binder before us. But now we do have the binder before us. So with that, I will give some time. If there's no other additional questions for OMB or any other report under OMB, we will go ahead and move forward and give time to our Division Director of Department of Health, Ms. Russell, to read the budget into record for each of the department. At the same time, OMB will be doing the review as well. And so with the new policy that we approved yesterday, which was legislation number 0187-23, in that resolution and approving the Oversight Committee budget meeting procedures, in there it indicates that oath does not need to be taken. So in this case, we approve that, so we don't need to do oath or swearing in of Department of Health. So with that, I will go ahead and give the floor over to Ms. Russell. And Ms. Russell, all you will be doing is providing us the program title and then the business unit number on each of the department's budget form. You'll be providing us on the budget form 1 information, which is the business unit number, the program title, and then the funding source, and then the budget summary. You will read them as under part 3 of the budget summary. Under column A is your original budget, and column B is your proposed budget. And then your differences of the total from your original budget, the proposed budget, if it has increased or decreased for that particular line item. And then you will also move on to part 4, which is the positions and vehicles, and that's the only page that you will review and then read into record for us. On top of that, okay. I guess for tabs 2 through 10, you don't have the rest of the budget forms. Am I correct, or is it just my binder that don't have it? On tab 2 through 10, you only have budget form 1s. You don't have any of the other budget forms attached. This, or is that, or is it's like that for all of the tabs? No, all the other budget forms are not in this binder. So with that, I really do believe at this point that you and your team as Division of Health need additional time to provide all the budget forms in the binders. So at this time, I think we cannot move forward with your legislation here, legislation number 0180-23. Majority of, well, actually all of them do not have the rest of the budget forms. You are missing budget form 2, budget form 3, 4, and 5, 6 others that would be needed. So those are not all within your binder. And so with that, I would just advise you that you go back to your team and get all the necessary budget program forms, documents inserted into your binder. At this point, since it's not ready, I will not proceed on moving forward with your budget at this point and moving forward with legislation numbers 0180-23. I think you guys really need to sit down and figure this out and make sure that all of the documents are within the binder. And we will inform you of when we will schedule you in on our next meeting. We do have, next week, we do have budget budget sessions all week, the 15th through the 18th. And then we also have other standing meetings that will be happening. So I don't think it will happen next week. We're just going to have to delay your budget at this point and see what we can do to try and put you in maybe sometimes next week. I just don't know at this point in time due to the fact that we just received an email from speaker regarding the Nabigiatia meeting the 15th through the 18th. We do have also the holiday that will happen on Monday, which is August 14th. And then we also have our regular meeting that we would need to schedule ourselves in as well. So, just to let you know, but we'll get back with you and inform you of when we will be meeting with you in your division. And so with that, there will be no action on legislation number 0180-23 at this point in time. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. At this time, I would like to ask the motioning party, Honorable George Toth and Honorable Helena Nazbigay, to withdraw your motion. And that way we can proceed on to our next item on the agenda. Is that okay with you, Honorable George Toth? Okay, he okays to withdraw. Honorable Helena Nazbigay? Okay to withdraw as well. So with that, the motioning parties have given the approval to withdraw their motion. And so with that, there is no actions for legislation number 0180-23 until further notice. So with that, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item number 5, which is close of meeting announcement. At this point, committee members, August 14th is an observed holiday, which is the Navajo Code Talker. August 15th is the special meeting in lieu of August 14th. We were just discussing this August 15th meeting, which would be next Tuesday. And if it is okay with the committee members, if it is okay with you, and then our legal counsel, if it is okay, can we still have our meeting on August 15th at 8 a.m. in the Budget and Finance Committee room at 8 a.m. next Tuesday? At 8 a.m. next Tuesday, are we okay with that? Because at 10, we have that scheduled meeting, the Big meeting that is scheduled at 10. So if we, is at 9, right? Is it at 9? Okay. Oh, my internet's out. So we would have 2 legislation and 1 journal on our agenda. We could meet until Nabigiatia gets a quorum, because the part that gets really interesting, let me wait for Dr. Andy Ness. So our meeting for next Tuesday, we're planning on doing it at 8 a.m. in the Budget and Finance Conference Room. And it will only have 2 legislation and 1 journal that will be on our agenda. If there's other legislation, then we'll know at that time. But for now, for sure, there's 2 legislation and 1 journal. So, and then at the same time, we have Nabigiatia scheduled the 15th through the 18th, beginning at 9 a.m. And so the question is, are we able to have a meeting for an hour? And so it gets really interesting at this point, because I know that Law and Order Committee has not started their budget hearings, and they're starting their budget hearing on Tuesday. At the same time, Resource and Development Committee are meeting on Tuesday as well. So at this point, just by looking at the meeting schedules of the other 2 standing committee, we might have a quorum issue for Nabigiatia meeting to start at 9 a.m. And so we wouldn't even be able to probably even make quorum with the 2 committee rules, because the standing committee, RDC and LOC, will be in a meeting. I'm just stuck in this point to answer that question coming from Honorable Helena Nazbigay. Can we do our meeting within an hour? I think we can do our meeting. We can just proceed with our meeting. until such time we know that there's a quorum, at least we'll just be across the street in the next building, and we could just adjourn on when since whenever we are told that there is a quorum for Napakiatia. We could do it that way as well. But other than that, if you guys don't want to do that, then we're going to have to find another date to have a special meeting in lieu of August 14th. But if you guys are willing to meet at 8 a.m. next Tuesday, that's totally fine with me. I mean, we're going to have to be here at 9 o'clock anyways for Napakiatia. Honorable Dr. Andinez.
Yes, I'm okay with 8, but I'm also thinking about how Hopi Land Commission meets at 7. I'm okay with 7 too, if that's an option. 8 o'clock is fine though, either way. Thank you, Chair.
Your thoughts, Honorable Helena Nesbitt?
It's fine with me, 8 or 7, that doesn't matter.
Thank you, Chair. I think 8 o'clock's okay as long as we got a lot of questions to ask on this budget, so it's going to take more than an hour. So at least up to 10 o'clock, and then for sure the Navigat is not going to go all the way to 18. Probably Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. That's about it. If that is available, those dates we can come back in and finish the health with Ishlash and Anoli.
For Tuesday's meeting, that's our regular Hehsc meeting. That's not the budget hearing that we were doing with health here. This is our regular meeting that we were supposed to have on August 14th, but we can't have it on Monday because of the holiday. So Tuesday at 8 a.m. just for a regular Hehsc meeting. And then we'll just work with the Department of Health and see whenever they're ready, and then go from there and see how we can schedule them in as well. So 8 a.m. So I think we're okay with 8 a.m. then next Tuesday. So next Tuesday at 8 a.m. in Budget and Finance, or whatever facility is available at 8 a.m. And then our other regular meeting is going to be August 21st. That will be in Tubai City. Remember that will be in Tubai City, and that will be August 21st. And then our other next regular meeting is August 28th, which will be back here in Window Rock. So remember that the Hehsc meetings have changed to Mondays. So we no longer have our regular Hehsc meetings on Wednesdays. So we'll be back to Monday. So so those are the announcements that are on the agenda. Again, we'll just work closely with the Division of Health and OMB and see when they're ready, Division of Health, and see what days we can come up with to have a special meeting for them to move forward with their budget. So so that's about it under announcement. If there's any other announcements, committee members, are there any other announcement? Legal counsel, staff? No other announcement? You guys eat. Yeah, you guys eat. No other announcement? Okay, if any other announcement arises, then we'll just go ahead and do it through text or email. Podoni. So with that, moving on to the next item, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn made by Honorable George Toth. Do I have a second? Second made by Honorable Helena Nesbitt. Are there any questions for adjournment today at 12:28 p.m.? Any questions? You have 2 questions, Dr. Nez? All right, with that, no questions. So with that, I will do a roll call vote. Honorable George Toth. Honorable Helena Nesbitt. Honorable Dr. Andy Nez. With that, we have 3 in favor, chair not voting, 1 excused, Vice Chair Jermaine Simonson, 1 unexcused, Honorable Curtis Unito. With that, we are hereby adjourned at 12:28 p.m. Thank you, safe travels, and enjoy your lunch. Lunch is being served at the moment, so don't leave until your lunch has been served or until you have eaten your lunch. Thank you, take care, God bless, and each and every one of you guys be safe and enjoy the Gala Intertribal Ceremony if you're going to be attending. Other than that, enjoy and have a safe weekend. Hakonet, thank you.